to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast here at the Gallagher's Gym in the changing rooms. Paul Butler's just had a shower, freshened up. Paul, good little workout today?
Yeah, top workout. I wasn't sure I was going to be in. I had a little blowout on the way. Woke up this morning and my tyres completely flat, so got that changed over nice and quick and made me way up.
Saw you on the body bag with Scott, on the pads with Scott as well, looking sharp.
I'm getting there, mate. Yeah, we've got 6 weeks. 6 weeks yesterday it was, so I'm sharp. I'm in a good place at the moment. I'm feeling really good, and it's nice to be feeling so good so far out.
Obviously, massive fight for you, massive opportunity for you against INOUE, the monster, arguably one of the great pound-for-pound fighters at the moment. I asked Joe, I said, look, Paul hasn't been in the ring since around March time. That's 8 months by the time he gets in the ring. And Joe said, listen, Paul's been in the gym. He lives in the gym, and as a fighter, when these kind of opportunities come, you can't turn around and say, I need a warm up or I need a tune up. You got to go straight in.
100%. Look, I know people say, oh, could be ring rust. I've never had it in my life, to be honest with you. I've been out. I think the longest out the ring was 11 months during the COVID, and I got back in, and I was fine. Do you know what I mean? It's not one of them things that bothers me. I don't get in there and think I haven't been in the ring for 8 months. I would have been out in October, but they asked me to not box, to wait for December, so that is what we done. I could have took a defence. They asked me to wait, so I stuck to their demands, and here we are now, contract signed, and we're off to Japan.
Paul, I know fighters will get in the ring with anybody. You get in the ring with Canelo tomorrow. You know, fighters are fighters. This guy is arguably one of the great fighters, as I said, of our times and pound for pound. But how tough is this fight going to be for you?
Listen, I know it's a tough task. I'm not deluded. I'm not daft. I know it's a big fight, which is why I'm actually enjoying training camp. I've got no pressure on me. All the pressure's off me. Just have a little glance on Twitter, have a little glance on Instagram at the comments. I've got no pressure on me, mate. I'm just doing my thing in the gym, and we'll turn up on the night, and if my tactics pay off, then we'll be in for a good performance.
We know most fighters get beat in their career. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather stands out, but he was a special fighter. But everyone said Lomachenko was this and he was that, and Teofimo Lopez went there and dethroned him. Everyone thought Teofimo Lopez was the next great thing, and then all of a sudden Kambosos goes and beats him. So are you confident in the plan and with everything you're doing with Joe, and with Joe's incredible experience as well, that you can go and bring all those belts back to the UK?
Listen, I know I can't switch off for 1 minute. If I have a lapse in concentration for 1 minute, it's over. And that's exactly what we're working on, concentrating for every minute of every round. And I need to be, because everyone's seen what he can do. Rodriguez beat me, he went and blasted him in 2 rounds. Rodriguez had a good first round, to be fair, and then got a bit too greedy, stood in front of him, and he's shown why he's called the monster. But yeah, I've got to be switched on for every minute of every round. I think it's got to be a level up performance from Sultan again. I think that was probably my career best performance, but I believe, and I've always said, the better the opponent in front of me, the better I'll perform.
And the opportunity to become a unified world champion by beating a great fighter?
100%. He holds all the marbles apart from my WBO world title, and it's a fight I wanted, so why wouldn't I be training, and why wouldn't I be enjoying training? Exactly what I'm doing. I'm feeling sharp. As everyone's seen today in the gym, I'm ticking over lovely, so I'll go there with a game plan. If that comes off, then we'll walk away undisputed world champion.
Ever thought you'll ever have a fight in Japan?
Never. Never ever. To be fair, me and INOUE were linked a long time ago, probably about 6 years ago. I got put into a final eliminator for the super flyweight WBO world title, and I couldn't make the weight, and it got called off the day before because there was sauna stuff, and the board pulled me in and I got fined. Yeah, so we were linked a long time ago, and now we're here, and it's in Japan. And do you know what? I'm happy it's in Japan. I was unfortunate not to box in Dubai. I've always wanted to box abroad. as a professional. I've never had the chance. As a pro, as an amateur, I boxed pretty much everywhere, but as a professional, I've never left this country.
So in terms of preparations, looking to go out there a couple of weeks early, get used to the time zone and the environment and the weather, etc.
Yeah, I think we're going to go over on the 4th of December. Gives us 9 days to prepare out there. I think we've got Callum Johnson and Jose Burton out maybe on the Tyson Fury bill in London. So if them two get put on that, then we'll fly the day later. If not, we'll probably fly a few days before. So we're just waiting to see what happens there at the moment.
Well, we look forward to it. Big fight for one of our own Brits. How's the gym thriving? I spoke to Clark Smith earlier. Obviously, Natasha Jonas is here. It's always been a gym with world champions. It still has a world champion in the gym. Obviously, a couple of world champions with Natasha as well. But Natasha, Clark, both out next week. Big hopes for both of them?
Yeah, they're both looking good, mate. Clark is improving every week. Like, I watched him spar on Monday, and I said to Joe after it, he's improving, he's coming on, he's feeling more comfortable in the pocket, where he used to pull out a little bit. Now he's comfortable in that pocket and he's letting his own shots go first and last. And I think Tasha, speaks for herself. Everyone knows what Tasha can do, and I think she's the same. She's like a fine wine. She's getting better with age. I think that last performance was outstanding. She done everything Joe asked, apart from a few things where Joe shouts, no, as she says. But no, she was really good, and I think you'll see another top-class performance from Tasha next week.
Paul, just obviously probably the hottest topic in boxing at the moment, CONOR, BENN. So much is going on. I don't know where to start, but you obviously probably kept up with it and read bits, but kind of from cancelling the show because he failed one test to now failing a second test to then relinquishing his licence or not renewing his licence. Kind of what's your whole thought process?
It's a shambles, isn't it, mate? It's an absolute joke. And now you can see why Eubank Senior was reacting the way he was. Everyone thought he was going mad and he was going loopy, but he obviously had an inkling about it. He'd obviously heard about it. And Algeria always said after his fight he needs testing. And then he fails 2 drug tests. I don't get, and I've never got it in my life, why you need a doctor in the camp. Is he constantly sick or something? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, we don't need a doctor in our gym. Do you know what I mean? And then to fail one test, which didn't even come out, then to fail this one before the Eubank fight, to relinquish his British Boxing Board of Control licence, it all leads towards guilty, doesn't it? I don't think there's no way out of it. He's the unluckiest man in the world if he's got 2 drug tests that are contaminated. Do you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn slated everyone for look what he done with Baby Miller. Slated him to the high heavens. He gave it Galahad, and now we've got CONOR, and he seems to be stuck to his hip. But we'll see what happens. But it's not a good look for boxing at the moment.
Do you feel like the problem is where, for example, football, if the Premier League had a problem, FIFA could get involved or etc. So we don't have that governance, and it looks like there's issues there with Eddie and the board at the moment. And I read an article where it said, look, the board will probably lose because the other party's probably got too much money and they've probably got even better lawyers.
Yeah, that myself. It's just wrong, isn't it? It's going to come to in boxing, and it's not a nice thing to say, but someone's going to get killed in the ring. The person that killed them will fail a drug test. That's manslaughter, that's murder. Do you know what I mean? They're putting that stuff into the body to better themselves in a physical and hard enough sport as it is. And that's what's going to happen before people are going to have to come out and say, he's banned for life. Or even better still, why even match yourself up with a drug cheat? Like, to say I was Conor Benn's weight and they offered me Conor Benn, I'd say no, he's a drug cheat. Why give him a wage? Why bother with him? Do you know what I mean? Eddie should be the same. Until you can prove your innocence, then I ain't working with you. Not even doing an interview about you. Just away you go. Do you know what I mean? that's the way I look at it anyway.
It's funny though, because I was just reading an article this morning where Big Baby Miller, who's had 2 comeback fights this year, somewhere like small hall shows, he's actually just been granted his Nevada license, so he can now box in Las Vegas after all the tests that he failed.
Yeah, I think he failed a few on the bounce, didn't he? It is a joke, honestly. Like, Canelo done it years ago, said it was the Mexican beef. Again, contamination.
We're hearing eggs this time.
Yeah, eggs this time. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, they're just making up anyhow shit now. Next it'll be me fucking bird pissed in my mouth or something, do you know what I mean? It's just embarrassing. But like Canelo done it though. Canelo said it was contamination in the beef. He got a 6-month ban. They knew he was out for 5 months with an operation. Come on, man.
Do you feel like, obviously we know right now he's failed 2 tests and he's guilty because he's failed 2 tests until he's proven his innocence if he can. But if he is still deemed to be guilty and he took them knowingly or unknowingly, should an example be made? Should he get a long-term ban to set example? Because it's probably happening in the sport amongst other fighters as well.
Ban him for life, mate. There's no other way around it. Just ban him for life. The sport's hard enough as it is. How many people do we see? Like, I think it was a couple of years ago, we had like a few fatalities pretty much week after week on small hall shows. And look what he's doing on the big stage. He's like, it weren't too long ago that he was having a life and death with a journeyman in the York Hall, and now he's poleaxing ex-world champions and contenders for world titles and people that have took Pacquiao late, or I think it might have even been points with Algieri, and he's just poleaxing them, mate, just leaving them for dead, and he's pumping gear into himself if he's proven guilty.
Time will tell. I believe there's detail will come out in the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure everyone else, like myself, yourself as fighters, you'll all be intrigued to know what those details are and what the outcome is, because as fighters you wouldn't want to fight somebody who has potentially cheated. No,
most definitely not. Funny enough, I had a knock on my door on Sunday, and it was UCAD drug testing, and he said, "Oh, sorry to be knocking at this time, Paul." And
what time was it?
7 o'clock Sunday night. Not long got in from golf. Just ran the shower. Had to turn my shower off. And he goes, "Oh, I'm awfully sorry." I said, "Mate," "you should be here more often." He said, "Oh, when was your last one?" I said, "The last time someone knocked at my door, considering I've been in and around top level for so many years, probably 5 years ago."
Wow.
And he went, "No way." I said, "Honestly, 5 years ago." I said, "I've had my drug test after me each fight and stuff like that, but random drug test, 5 years ago, knock at my door."
Wow.
That's unbelievable. The way I look at it, I think you should market 20 boxes. Because I know there's not loads of them that can travel round and be knocking on everyone's door, because there isn't loads of them. So target 20 boxes. He could have been at mine on Sunday, he could have given me another surprise knock on Wednesday, and do that with like 20 people between them. And just keep targeting them for like 3 months, 2 months, and you'll catch them out a lot more than what they are at the moment. But I think that's the way about going about it. But for me to have 2 tests in 5 years, random drug tests, it's pretty shocking, to be fair.
Very shocking, especially considering you're a world champion, you fight at the highest level, and the fact that you've only been tested twice shows where we are with the governance of the sport of boxing, which is very, very sad. And it's sad for me, because I've been following boxing since I was a young boy, and you don't want to see anyone cheating. You don't want to see anyone cheating and then hurting somebody else, because I was there when Nick Blackwell fought Eubank Jr. Obviously Chris is a clean athlete, but you know, we saw what the ramification were to Nick afterwards. I was there when Adonis Stevenson had his fight, and look what happened to Adonis Stevenson as well. So boxing is a brutal sport without people cheating.
Exactly. That's why it needs to be as clean as possible. Completely clean. That's the only way really about going about it. Imagine if Eubank had came out when he was on the gear. Imagine how bad boxing would have looked there. Considering Nick Blackwell went the way he went, like it's not good for boxing if people are pumping drugs into him that much. And I think they think it's that easy because, like I've just said, I've had 2 tests in 5 years.
Well, over the next couple of weeks, we'll find out with this whole CONOR BENN stuff. Paul, thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. Probably see you next week at the show. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll catch up with you before you fly out to lovely Japan in December.
Nice one.
Paul Butler, IFL TV, thank you very much.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.